So today's cardinal lesson, we're talking about the multi-year guaranteed annuity, or the acronym for that, or the abbreviation MYGA, MYGA. And as soon as people hear the word annuity, they're thinking, oh, fees, all kinds of stuff, and they kind of block out everything. And if you want to do that, just turn off the video. But this is a specific kind of annuity that I think you're going to want to listen to this. Okay. And what's simple about MIGAs is it's a way for you to get a very good rate of return or an interest rate simply by tying up your money for a fixed period of years. And so what I want to do is go right into the meat of the video and go into the show notes and Tom, and I want to show you what we're talking about here.
Yeah. And so for people who haven't watched many videos before, we have a show notes in the link below of the video. It goes into more specifics, more detail in the video. So some people like a little more meat on the bone there. And so the show notes, they start with the picture of the board. You can print it out, take notes, whatever you want. If it's sometimes you're watching your phone, it can be kind of small, which we found that helpful. But once we, go through the board initially, the first page, the content page of the show notes is we have 3 companies we're going to walk through and what their specific rates are on these multi-year guaranteed annuities. And we're going to focus in on the 5-year term because that's what is most popular. I do want to point out that these rates are subject to change. This from F&G was as of October 24th of 2022, but on their 5-year MYGA, it's paying 5.2%. That's a really good interest rate right now compared to what you might be getting in like a bank account or savings account or something like that. And so where these MIGAs can be really helpful is if you have some money that's you're not wanting to take risk with it, you want it to be safe, and that there are different risks, but you're not taking the risk that it's going to lose value when the stock market goes down, is you could get something that's earning 5.2%. They do have a 3-year and a 7-year that you can see those rates there. The next company is with the company named Aspida. They actually have 2 different rates depending on the amount of money you put with them. So between $25,000 and just under $100,000, the 5-year is at 5.05%. Again, these rates can change as well. And then if it's above 100,000, you have a 5.2, which is the same as F&G. Aspida also has a 2-year, 3-year, 7-year, and so they have a range of options. But again, we're going to look at the 5-year at the 5.2. And then really the third company we have in the show notes here is Nationwide. This page is very busy. I don't need you to kind of follow every number on it. We're going to pick out 2 specific numbers. Again, I do want to make the point that this side of the page is premiums between 10,000 and just under 100,000. 100,000 above is this side of the page. You can focus in on the highest rate here at the 5-year rate is 4.8%, under 100,000, above 100,000 is 4.95%. And so, I mean, these are the 3 examples. We have many other options out there, but this gives you a good idea of what, in the current rate environment, what these companies are paying for a 5-year MIGA.
Yeah, I also want to add that those 3 companies, those plans are not available in all states. So we have something available in all states, but those individual companies that we're showing, that individual plan is not necessarily available in all states. So want to be clear about that. Those rates are also subject to change. So what we'd like to do now is get back to the board and begin teaching you what in the world is a MYGA, or why would you want to go with a MYGA? And I think Tom pointed that out, that, a MYGA, or a multi-year guaranteed annuity, most people put the money there, they put it there, they leave it there, and then at the end of the term, it usually leaves the insurance company. It either gets rolled into another annuity or another MYGA, possibly with a different insurance company, or it just gets cashed in and spent. So the insurance company doesn't really have a lot of expense in administering these things. And so they're able to offer, because of the long-term nature of the deposit, which is 5 years is a pretty long time, they're able to offer, you saw the interest rates, what is very attractive. Now, your money inside of the annuity or inside of the MYGA grows tax deferred. So this is another cool thing about these, is that when you're earning this 5.2%, if that's the one you select, if you do that on $100,000, that's $5,000, a little more than $5,000 in a year, and you're not paying taxes on that $5,000 as long as you leave it in there. Okay, and you could be postponing a problem till a later date. So I don't want to explain this like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it's a way to lower your taxable income on money or interest you're earning that you're not spending. And at the end of the 5 years, you can simply roll this into another product of your choice, for a term of your choice. Or we have some people move this into a payout annuity that will just pay them over so many years, and then they can spread that taxation out over a number of years. So there's a lot of options at the end of the 5 years, or 3 years, or 7 years, or whatever amount you select. So important point with this is the tax deferral. Now, the third point that I want to bring up is your principal and interest, the money that's accumulated that you put in there, and then the money that's accumulated, it's guaranteed by the claims paying ability of the insurance company issuing it. And those are 3 highly rated insurance companies. We have many more, and many more highly rated. They also happen to be 3 companies that are paying an interest rate at the top of the spectrum, but we have many more options than that. And so if you select one of those 3 companies and you purchase that money that you're putting in there is going to be guaranteed and backed up by the claims paying ability of the particular insurance company. And this can be looked upon as a disadvantage because this is not at a bank and it's not FDIC insured, so it's not backed up by the federal government. So some people will look at this as a disadvantage to the thing. And we certainly want to bring that up and point that out. But this money is pretty darn safe with the claims paying ability of these highly rated insurance companies. But when we talk individually, we'll discuss that more. The end of the term, and I already went over this, when the 5 years is up, you can take the money, principal and interest, pay taxes on the interest, and just take it and spend it and use it. But if you want to further postpone the taxation, you can just simply roll it over into another annuity called a MYGA for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Now, the source of funds is that, from our experience, where is the money coming from that's going in these annuities? We have a lot of clients who, or not really clients, but just prospects, people calling us, coming in, inquiring about these things, who are looking for a place to put the cash they have sitting on the sidelines. Tom was talking about this earlier. I want to go to Tom and I want to hear his comments about where this money's coming from.
Yeah. And so, we have a lot of people come into us asking, they have this money that's sitting in cash, it's not earning very high interest, and they say, where should I put it? And so this might not be right for everybody, but really we wanted to show you this is an option. This is something that is paying a decent interest rate. And again, our experience is as soon as we mention the word annuity, people throw their hands up. Not everyone, but some people, they throw their hands up and say, well, I don't want to hear about that. And it's like, really, we want to sort of push back on that a little bit. It's a very simple annuity. There are very complex ones out there. This is not that. This doesn't have any fees into this. It's just a straightforward, you put your money with the company for a fixed number of years, you get a fixed interest rate. I mean, it's very simple. And so a lot of times this is going to work well for people who have a high amount of money in savings in cash. They might have in an IRA that they haven't invested. It's just sitting there earning very little amount. This can work really well and at least help take the bite out of the inflation at least, because the problem that we have with a lot of people that have a lot of cash, and we're experiencing it currently, is as inflation rises, they're losing purchasing power. And so we need to have that money earning something to at least offset that risk somewhat. Again, 5% isn't as high as the current inflation we're in, but it's much better than 1%, half a percent, whatever it's earning in where it currently is.
Yeah, and this whole idea of describing it as lazy money, I've heard people use that, and lazy money is money that's sitting in a checking account or a money market that you don't foresee needing in the near future. It's too much liquidity. I mean, all of us need to have a certain amount of money in an emergency fund or beyond an emergency fund to go make a cash purchase on something, take care of, an air conditioner goes out or we need to buy a new car. So there's different amounts, and we as financial planners help people determine that. And what our experience is there's just people that come to us, they've got way more than that amount that they're going to immediately need, or they're going to need in the next year or two, because for just a number of reasons, and it's just sitting and then the money's being lazy. And whatever piece of your savings account that you don't foresee needing, this is a great alternative to tie it up for a while and earn a much better interest rate. Now, people, that just have too much liquidity, there's a lot of people, I find people when I'm asking these questions that they're almost embarrassed about it. I know that's too much. I shouldn't have that money. It's been sitting there for a year because I'm just afraid to do something else with it. And when we really look at the interest rates they're getting on that, these people are ashamed of this. And don't be ashamed of it. It's just do something about it. Yeah. And so the real thing is how much of that thing should we direct into this? So what I wanted to do is just bring out some of the basic facts, some of the pluses, some of the negatives of a MIGA. And then I want to show you a sampling of the interest rates and the companies backing them that we can offer. And that's about it today. So I'm Hans Scheil.
And I'm Tom Griffith.
And we thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.